Monday Night Raw review in a minute or so. Raw is coming to you live from Greenville, South Carolina, the Bond Seekers Arena. It is May 19th, so everyone was on edge because they thought Kane might show up at any moment, but nonetheless, Kane did not show up. Logan Paul starts the show by playing a little game of Fact or Crap with the Yeetville, South Carolina crowd, as Pat McAfee would call it. He lets them know that he will be the World Heavyweight Champion come next Monday night. Gunther interrupts him and says that Logan Paul would be a good champion for the business, but to him, this isn't business, this is personal. He says that Logan Paul thinks he's better than Jey Uso, which means Logan Paul thinks he's better than Gunther, and he takes that as personal disrespect. Then he reminds everyone what happens when he is personally disrespected, a la Pat McAfee. As Gunther leaves, Logan Paul is a little bit distracted, and Jey Uso comes in and hits Logan Paul with a super kick. Paul Heyman catches Jey Uso backstage and says, listen, Braun's not looking for your title, but Seth Rollins long-term will be the champion again. Then we get this star-studded match. We have Penta, AJ Styles versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough. This was a fantastic match as expected. All four of these guys can go. Want to note that Carlito was ringside and heavily involved in the match, and there was no dominant Mysterio, but when AJ Styles finally took out Carlito, that is when El Grande Americana showed up and helped the Judgment Day pick up the victory. Then we have this Money in the Bank qualifying match between Roxanne Perez, who is Raw's newest roster member, Natalya, and Becky Lynch. Before the match, Becky Lynch let Io Sky know that Io has never beaten Becky, but Io let Becky know that it doesn't matter, she's not worried about it, she's ready for everybody. In the end, it didn't matter because Becky lost the match after Liv Valkyrie came out and they got into a fight which distracted her from the match and allowed Roxanne Perez to pin Natalya. Seth Rollins meets Logan Paul backstage and says, listen, Jey Uso will not be healthy after tonight, so you have the advantage in your match Saturday. After that, you know who to think, and I'll be ready for a championship match myself. Then we get Sheamus and Grayson Waller, and Grayson actually held his own. I thought he was going to get the shit beat out of him by Sheamus, but he did not. He actually held his own until he pissed off Sheamus a time too many, and then Sheamus finally got his hands on him, and Austin Theory seemed to like that beatdown a little bit too much. Cole and Pat talked to Tyrese Halliburton, who is a playable character on this year's WWE 2K25. Then we get this physical matchup between Zoe Stark, Rhea Ripley, and a returning Kairi Sane. This was a really good match, and unfortunately, Zoe Stark blew out her knee. It was a very unfortunate and gruesome injury, and we wish her a speedy recovery. Nonetheless, Rhea Ripley won and entered the Money in the Bank match with Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez so far. Oh yeah, Adam Pearce granted Tozawa a match with Rusev next week. Pray for him. Finn introduces Roxanne Perez with gifts to the Judgment Day and says, listen, she's not a new member, but she will be having our back. Then, as his nickname suggests, in the main event, we have Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker. These two have faced each other before, so this wasn't a first-time matchup. As a matter of fact, Jey Uso beat Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship late last year, but this is the first time they've faced each other at this new level, so it seemed like a really big deal to me. Great match. Interrupted by Seth Rollins, and then a big fight breaks out between these four guys. At the end, Logan Paul stands tall.